Welcome to Planting Joy Garden. I'm out this morning because I wanted to show how you can have abundance without actually having a garden. And you can do that by growing bush beans and by growing pole beans. So let's take a moment to talk about growing pole beans and bush beans in containers. You do not need a garden to grow an abundance of food. I think one of the best possible plants you can grow without a garden is container pole beans. So let's just talk about some pole beans here. Now, to get started, you need a container that's about 18 inches wide, as you see here. You also need to start with compost-rich soil, and you're going to add fertilizer to your soil. Because you're growing in a container, you want to make sure you have a well-balanced fertilizer. So you want to make sure you have even numbers of your NPK. So you want to have an even amount of nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, because the flowers that will develop on the pole beans will turn into the actual green beans. So I have Kentucky Wonder pole beans growing here, and this 18-inch wide minimum. Mine's is more like 22 inches wide. You want to place 8 to 10 seeds. Then you want to thin down to about 6 to 8 seeds. So I actually planted out 11 seeds in this container. They did not all come up. And so I roughly have 8 seeds that are actually growing to produce these vines. Now, pole beans are prolific, but one thing you have to keep in mind is that the more you pick, the more you grow. So you have to stay on top of the harvesting. You really need to come out almost every single day and pull off the beans. If you continue to pull them off, the plant will think that it couldn't complete its life cycle and will produce more flowers and more beans. Now, if you allow it to stay and grow to maturity, the plant's going to think that it has produced seeds and it's okay to die. So pole beans in containers is one of the easiest things you can do. You start with compost, you fertilize that soil, you get the beans up and running, then you just simply water and harvest. So this is a look at my Kentucky Wonder pole beans. And as I mentioned, you don't need a garden. You can do this in a container. However, it will grow very tall, so you have to make sure you have a trellis or something to support it at least 6 to 8 feet. And I'm already at 6 feet, so I will be installing an arch to go across to allow my beans to continue. Now let's look at my bush beans. I also have a combination of bush beans growing. I have the Blue Lake bean and some Cherokee wax. The Cherokee wax is a yellow bean. And the same thing. This one was started first. You see, every place there's a flower will be a bean. And so it is growing quite well. It's really starting to flower. So from this point on, I will be checking this container daily. Now, this is in a elevated raised bed. So again, you don't have to have a garden in the ground. You can use a container. So I have an elevated raised bed here. I will be watering frequently. I will be checking daily to see if there's anything ready to harvest. And we're not quite there yet, but I can produce an abundance of vegetables in my container. So here's a look at my bush beans. Now, pole beans are more prolific than bush beans. The advantage of the bush bean is that you'll get pretty much all of your beans at once. It'll rest, produce another flush, and I have been able to do at least 3 flushes with my bush bean. Now, the great thing with bush beans is you have the option of planting it out, harvesting all at once in a single flush, giving the plant time to recover, and then doing a second flush. If the weather is favorable, you can even get a third flush. The other option is because it is a 55-day producer, you can allow one flush to grow, pull out all the plants, replant, and get that next flush with fresh new plants. So it's a lot of flexibility when you grow bush beans as well. So you don't have to have a garden to have abundance. You can grow bush beans and you can grow pole beans. It's really up to you. So get out there and start yourself a kitchen garden. Grow some of your own groceries. Thank you for joining me in the garden. Have an amazing day. If you're growing pole beans or bush beans, let me know what type you're growing. I find that Kentucky Wonder and Blue Lake works great for me, but if you try some of the other varieties, let me know what's working in your area. Have a great day.